right, gang. Time to do this live, I hope. Trying to get my computer set up so I can see the chat here. And we'll get going on this thing. So, hopefully. Okay. All right, the laptop is not cooperating with me, so give me a second, guys. I apologize. There we go. Now it's coming on. All right, got it. That way I can see your questions and all that stuff. What's up, you and four others? How's everybody doing today? So you can see we're gonna work on this part of Dogtown. Actually, I'll probably be moving the camera around a little bit. Uh, kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say finishing up over here because I have some other things I want to do, but at least for the time being, this is probably um, the last day I'm going to get to work on this display for at least until Nationals is over, because I really need to get pretty serious about building and things like that. I mean, I have been, but I've also been working on this a little bit, and so it's time to kind of knuckle down and make this last stretch before the big shows come up here this winter, and so I'd like to get some of this stuff kind of finished up a little bit. So, what's up, Anonymous? What's up, CW, Cam, Waffles? Hope everybody's doing good today. I'm doing good. It's a nice Sunday. It's a pretty nice day outside. It's actually in the 70s. What's up, Wyatt? Uh, no, thanks. Yeah, I haven't showed this part a whole lot. Um, I've been kind of really just in the last month or so trying to get this finished up and detailed out. So, got a lot of work to do yet. I'm not 100% sure on location of trees and some of the foliage and things like that. I also am not liking the way this static grass is not, sticking up, but that may just be the way it is. And then also, and I'm gonna do a video, I hope, for this week on this. I also don't particularly care for this static grass that I've got right in here, which I know you guys can't see too well, but I didn't blend it really well. I kind of used maybe like just one color of static grass, and I don't know, it looks a little odd to me. I've kind of, as I've progressed in my display building, I've kind of learned that you've got to blend things a little bit to get maybe more of a look that you're going after, more of a kind of more interesting look, I guess, a more eye-catching look. So I don't know. May end up redoing that little section too. We'll see. I don't know. We could just leave it though. Oh, spring planting on the display. All right, nice. I was just thinking about getting out the tillage tools here later today. Maybe doing a little video on that as well here on Dogtown, because it's kind of fall tillage around here. Running the buggy for soybeans and talking toy tractors. Yeah, that's a good day right there. You betcha. Yeah, that sounds real good. I'm gonna just scoot back a little because right now I'll show you guys what I did here. So I'm working on getting the stream all taken care of. Now, when I carved my foam and sanded my foam, um, I don't want to say I screwed up, but I made it harder on myself because I did some steps here. And my thought was, and I mean, I'm still going to, obviously, I'm going to have some rocks like you can see here. And, but a couple places I got a little carried away with that. And so I had to dam up my river just a little bit here so that I could actually get some depth to my water, as you can see. So now I'm going to have to come through and gonna have to cut that and do a little bit of need to come through and cut this off, and then I'll put a little section of rapid or something through there to make it look good and kind of hide where these two pieces connect or meet. But like I said, I do like the depth here and all of that. So if you're kind of wondering, I just use Woodland Scenic's water. It's you literally just pour it and then let it dry. Um, and then I mix it with some of their murky tint, which is you're going for, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Around here, our waterways, our streams, all kind of have this murky brown color. So I was trying to do that, but also not get too carried away with it, so that it wasn't just completely, so you couldn't see in the water, I guess. Now up here, as you kind of come up farther past the bridge, it's a little more clear because it's coming straight out of the hills, straight out of the rocks. So I just kind of wanted to make it like it hadn't picked up as much sediment or something like that. So finally got a 50-foot case cultivator from Dave. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Love Dave's stuff for sure. I've got several implements from him. Yeah. Dubuque is coming. Dubuque and Nationals are coming fast. That's for sure. I've got some projects I definitely got to finish up here in the next 3 weeks. Um, it's going to be a busy few weeks to build here. I've got two 16 scale projects to finish up. They're all painted, but they just need final assembly. I hope I can knock one of those out at night. And then I've got some 64 scale projects that would have been done, except for I've been having a little bit of issues getting some of the parts to print that I wanted to print for them. So yeah. Oh, I like the idea there, Chris. I like that a lot. Oh, nice. Baling some hay, getting ready to plant some winter wheat. Nice. Yeah, I've been talking to Dave about those cultivators because getting the shanks for those has apparently been an issue for him. So I'm trying to kind of find a remedy for him so that maybe he could make some more in the future. But yeah, that may be the last one. Oh well, I'm glad you caught a stream here. A 64th International Scout. That's doable. That's for sure doable. That'd be cool for sure. What's up, Bryce? Yeah, yeah, those cultivator shanks are in super short supply right now. So, like I said, I may try to, I don't know, draw some up or something. That way he's got some. Um, he and I kind of trade some things back and forth occasionally, so it works out good for us. And what's up, Kyle? I'm gonna go. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. I gotta go grab a knife. All right, I'm back with a handy dandy hobby knife. The tool of champions. I just need to cut this high part off. Actually, I'm gonna cut right here and hope I didn't do wrong. All right. Took a little bit of the paint up there, but obviously that's super easy to fix. Um, yeah, so we kind of, like I said, we kind of got a little bit of a lip there, no problem. We're gonna put something in there. Tires, I like that idea. I may grab a tire or two and stick in there. Um, hmm, yeah, sure, certainly have plenty of tires laying around here. And we could always do a rock. That's too big for sure. Um, I don't know, we can always do some little pebbles, rocks, something like that in there, just to fix that. And then what I'll do, whatever we end up putting in there, uh, I'll use Woodland Scenic's water effects to kind of go over it, which I need to do more of here, as you can see, because I don't quite have that flushed out yet. But I don't know how well that shows up on this camera necessarily, but you can see you can kind of give it some ripples or some running water look. I am not an expert at water yet. I think I mentioned before. One time I did a pond, and that turned out really. I did a small stream that I used polyurethane for on an old display. That turned out pretty nice. But this is kind of my first attempt at like kind of doing something more realistic and interesting, I think. And so far, I'm loving it. But yeah, it's got room for improvement. Oh, I could see that with the paint issue on those. Yep. Hey, Larry. All right, glad to hear you're doing good after getting a pacemaker put in. That's good to hear. I bet that helps out for sure. An old fence with brush on it. Good idea. What's up, Brogan? What's up, Tad? How's it going? Car showing anywhere this weekend, or did you get a weekend off from that? I think uh, I think next weekend's the last car show around here for this season. Um, just there's a pretty big one in Louisiana, Missouri, which is like 20 minutes from here. At least there used to be. Yeah, I assume there still is. And then there was last year. And then there's one in a small town called Pleasant Hill. It'll probably have about 20 cars, but still kind of fun to go to those. Had one Saturday and one. Nice. That's awesome. The versatile 2525 prototype would be beyond awesome. Agreed. We can make the versatile happen. That's no problem. I just gotta kind of get caught up on some builds and things like that, but it's very doable. I don't know how well this is showing up. So I've been building this bridge. So it's kind of modeled after a bridge locally. Um, anyway, we're gonna have another rail like this over here. Unfortunately, the print failed on me. Otherwise, that would be done today. But I did see the 9RX review. I liked it. Yeah, it is a beast of a tractor. Earl did a really good job on that, I think. Um, anyway, so the one I'm kind of modeling after has like some timbers down, for the driving track with some gravel, and then there's always a little bit of grass growing up on the sides of it. So I just thought I would do that. Now, what I've got to do here, because I'm sure you can see, is I've got to build up a couple spots here, and I maybe should have just made the bridge a tad longer, but um, I don't know. It's okay. I've got some sculpting mold here, and I'll build that up. And I've got to do the same thing with the other bridge over here, which is actually one of the things I thought maybe I would do today on this live stream, is kind of build those approaches up. You can see here. Now, what kind of stinks is I've got I've got this all painted up and everything. So obviously I'll have to redo my painting and graveling. But I'm thinking the approach is probably only going to come out about this far. I don't need it to be um, a huge deal. Now the approach on this side's fine, I think. I don't really need to mess with it. I actually got that pretty well perfect, or at least close to it, when I originally made that. But I think I don't know. I made my bridge just a tad too long or whatever. But whatever. I'll get it figured out. All right, I'm glad to hear I got a good taste in cars. I mean, I love cars. I do. I just, it's just one of those things. Um, I love cars. I love driving, especially like there's nothing like a nice kind of like fall or summer night where it's coolish but still warm enough to, or to have your windows down and you can just kind of cruise. I don't know. It's one of my favorite things to do. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Have a have some graffiti. That is such a cool idea. I got to do that. Yeah, I got to figure out how to do that. That's cool. I like it. Yeah, that's neat. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, that's just got to be done, doesn't it? That's cool. So yeah, I think I might grab a little sculpting mold here and kind of mix that up, and I don't know, we'll just see how it turns out here. Still working on the mill. That test print you showed me, Kyle, looked awesome. I thought so. Yeah, I think you're on the right track there for sure. And I definitely need one in Dogtown. I would love to get a real mill. I don't need a big one. Like if I could just get a mini mill, like I think Micro Mark sells them, but they're still a fortune. But I would love to get one because there's some little projects. Some of the things I do, like when I repower 64 scale tractors, if I had a mill, it would make my life so much easier. I don't know, maybe someday. All right. So I got my sculpt mold. This is what sculpt mold looks like before you wet it down, in case you're wondering. It's like a paper mache type thing. I don't know how to explain it necessarily, but all right. Now, just add water. And the trick here is not to get it too wet, but wet enough that it's pliable. I mean, the wetter you get it, the longer it takes to set up. I mean, it's not really a big deal if you get it too wet, but, I'd like to get all this done today and then paint it tomorrow and then maybe get the grass and such down later in the week. And like I said, then it's just prime building season at that point. Just build tractors. So. Oh, later. Thanks for stopping by. Drowning Oliver. Ooh, what's my favorite tillage piece that isn't made by anyone in 1/64 scale? Ooh, that's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. It's probably a disc. Ooh, I don't know. How about a 40-foot DMI Tiger Mate field cultivator? Like that's a dream implement of mine in 64 scale. And I don't know that I've ever seen one. Maybe somebody scratch built one along the way, but I don't know. Always wanted one. We had one when I was younger, a real one, but unfortunately it was gone before I really was able to build tractors at any reasonable level. And so I don't really have any pictures or anything of that. But yeah, maybe something like that. If not that, probably oh, good question. Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, yeah, I've been trying to kind of brainstorm some tillage stuff I could make. Because I think, as you guys know, I haven't really been able to build a whole lot lately because I keep part of this thing that I have going on is like I get really shaky and it's really hard to put together tractors when you're shaky. So I've been doing a lot of 3D design because I can actually do that when I'm shaky. Um, but yeah, um, I also want to do, and this is going to sound silly, I also want to do a mounted chisel plow, like a John Deere mounted chisel plow, like a I don't know 17 or 18 foot, something like that. That's high on my list, and that's such a simple piece. It's not like it's not like that's a big difficult project or anything like that. Um, but that's one I want to do. I'd like to do a mounted field cultivator too, actually. Maybe like an old international mounted field cultivator to put behind like a 1466 or something like that. But yeah, probably my dream tillage piece, I would say, is the DMI Tiger Mate. Am I going to build an area for tractor pulls? So I definitely have plans for something like that in the future. Um, so I don't know if you guys remember, or some of you guys may not have been around yet. When I first moved to this place, to where I'm at now with my wife, um, we were kind of plotting and scheming on how to make multiple displays, but in the small area that we have. And so we've built this display, this Dogtown Farms display, where I can have pullouts below. So I've actually got room, theoretically, to pull out 4 sort of mini displays. Now, I don't know that I'll ever actually build 4 mini displays, but I definitely want to build a grain bin setup, and then something like a uh, a tractor pull, tractor show, farm progress show type thing is something else I've always wanted to model. So that is another idea possibly. Now, I mean, doing a tractor pull would be pretty easy to model technically. It'd be a lot of fun too, just to be able to get all those pulling tractors out on display. Because I've kind of amassed a pretty decent collection of pulling tractors over the last few years in 64 scale. I've got a couple of my own I've actually designed and ready to build anyway. And I actually just did I just drew a Cub Cadet lawnmower puller. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, it's tiny though, so I'm not 100% sure that's going to print that well. So I'm trying to debate, and while you guys are here, you can see it. Uh, is this is this too short? Does this need to come out a little farther? Is that good? Is that too big of a ramp up to the bridge? Do I need to kind of draw that out farther? Just kind of curious what you guys think here. Once this sets up a little bit more, I can smooth it out a little more, and then if I have to, I can sand it smooth so that it looks good at the end of the day. Draw it out more. Yeah, I kind of think so too. It's kind of where I'm leaning right now. It seems awfully short. So let's just get some more up on there. There we go. That's a bit much. The great thing about this Sculpting is as it sets up, you can work it really well. So like if I come back here in a few hours, this will be still pliable, but more set up, if that makes any sense at all. And that means you can really smooth it out and get a really nice finish to it and really kind of make it how you want. So this is kind of a rough shape. Obviously, I wanted to get it as smooth as I possibly can at this stage, but something, yeah, I still need to go a little farther. I think I need to just smooth out this middle section. I think what I did is I just kind of humped it up a little bit more. Yeah, so I kind of figure speed wise, I'm kind of thinking this is like a county highway. So, probably like 50 miles an hour, 55 ish at the most. So, yeah, it probably makes sense that this would be drawn out more. Although, Chris, and Tad, you both know as Illinois guys, our roads here are interesting. And sometimes, um, our bridge approaches are really interesting. So, there's a couple bridge approaches close to us that are on the interstate, on Interstate 72. And I tell you what, they will rattle the living daylights out of you if you're going interstate speeds over them. So I always tell people if they have a rough road on their display, I'm like, oh well, you're just modeling Illinois roads then, aren't you? I shouldn't complain too much because they've redone a bunch of roads in our area in the last year or so. So I really appreciate that. I want to build a lawnmower puller in real life. I hear you. Speed signing's been shot up. Love that idea, Timbo. Love that idea. That's a super cool idea. Yep. Definitely gonna have to do that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that feels better to me. This distance compared to what we had before. Yeah, this feels much better. Now I'm actually gonna pull this off. That way, that can all set up, and I can do all the painting I need to on it and all that fun stuff. Well, I guess I kind of need to do the same thing over here on the other bridge. I can turn you guys a little bit. Maybe you can see that a little better. Probably drop you down. There we go. Um, so especially these areas, I just need to build up a little bit. Um, as you can see, I just kind of rounded these roads off a little bit too much right through here. So what I'm going to have to do is build them up, these shoulders, and then maybe I'll go through and repaint and landscape and all that sort of thing. Won't be too big of a problem, I don't think. Ooh, that's wanting to stick to me. Maybe I better get a little water on my hands here. Kind of found if you keep your hands wet, it doesn't want to stick. It's probably not going to stick to that gravel too well either, which is okay. We'll make it work. Ooh, yeah, I definitely got some dirt and stuff in it now. That'll be interesting. It's all right. Now, of course, this is just a gravel lane that heads back to Dogtown, so this will be low speed and can be fairly rough if we need it to be, or if it ends up being that way. All right, Waffles, have a good one. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, some of I think I think this year or last year, they finally redid 72 around Decatur. Because right there where that rest area is, or is it a way station? I can't remember. That was some of the worst road I've ever been on. And when we were like heading over to Lafayette, we would always get over into the left lane, just because that right lane was so rough. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna break every custom we've got. Yeah, good old Illinois roads. Let's smooth that out just a little bit. Eh. Stuff's really wanting to stick to my hand. It's all right. I'll just get a little more water on my hand here. There we go. Just go ahead and kind of do this area in front here. What would make a great speed grain truck? Good question. I'm running. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Gosh, there's a lot of good options out there right now, for sure. Yeah. All right, that'll work. I really am kind of interested in taking one of the internationals that just came out and making a semi out of it. I think that would be really cool. It's kind of something I'm kind of looking forward to trying anyway. If I get some free time. Now, all right, this part, I'm going to take that off. And then I need to build up here and here. Just a little bit. Not a whole heck of a lot. But I need to make it work. Yeah, something like that. And I think what I'll do is I'll end up, after I get this set up and painted, I'll probably put some rocks in there just to give it a little something and make it look like it was built up. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put some there too. That's kind of a low spot. This is kind of the stuff I love about farm toy display building or model railroading or whatever it is you just kind of can do whatever you want. And kind of, as you start doing it, you kind of go, I don't know if that works so well. I'll change this or I'll do that. Or, oh, it'd be really neat if I added this. I mean, like the tires idea and the tractor idea pulling the stump out and all these great ideas. The sign that's shot up. All these great ideas that you guys have come up with just in this chat that I definitely got to integrate into this this display because it's just too cool not to. Let's see. Yeah, I think something like that is going to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And like I said, once that's set up and I can paint it, we'll come through and put some rocks and things like that in there just to dress it up a little bit. Make it look like something anyway. I think it'll be cool. All right, I'm actually going to move the camera a little bit here. One area I've still got to do quite a bit of work on is actually where the camera's sitting right now. It's this kind of grass area here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do just yet there. If I'm gonna have it more grown up or if it's gonna be well manicured, I just don't know yet. DCP Transstar. Oh yeah, Transtars are cool too for sure. K100 for farm and rotary. Yeah, that'd be a really cool setup. I knocked over a cattail there. I've not glued those permanently in yet because I wasn't 100% sure that I was done adding water, although now I'm pretty sure I've got all the water I need, so in there. I think the stream, at least from an adding water standpoint, is finished. I'm pretty excited that we've got this in and the bridge. Now, by the end of the week, this whole all the big stuff in this part of the display can be done, and then I can just work on the little details and things like that. Like I said, I've got some executive decisions to make over here. I also don't know if you can see under the barn or not. I've still got to put new tires on it, but I'm going to get some road worn tires, wheels and tires. But I've weathered this Steiger up, and I'm just going to keep him up under the barn there for a while. Speaking of DCP, so I kind of checked around a little bit to see if I could do like a For the Love of Tractors DCP run, maybe some grain trucks or something like that. Not so much. A little bit out of my budget. So maybe someday down the road, but definitely not right now. Hey, all right. Glad to see you got Sawyer watching too. Have a good one, Tad. Always good talking to you. Hope to see you soon. So basically, uh, without any options or dress up parts, things of that nature, you're looking at a like 75-ish a truck. And then you have to do, I think, 500 and something trucks. Can't remember the exact number, but yeah, just a little bit more than I can swing right now at this point in my life. Like I said, maybe that's something we can do someday. But oh, a Mac and Grain trailer set would be awesome. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Ouch. Um, yeah, it kind of sounded like if you went with some of the show pieces, like the more dress up parts, and then did some, like graphics. Uh, I think you're going to be closer to that $80 to $90 range pretty quick. It sounded like, but it would be cool. It'd just be something really neat to have, but or to do. But yeah, I agree. DCP it's getting iffy. Like it's getting hard to justify. I have two semi trucks I want to get for the display yet. I want to get a van trailer so that I can just have it in the background going down the road, and then I want to get another. I don't know, I want to call it a flatbed or a step deck or whatever for another little project, but I just cannot justify the price on them. Unfortunately. What's up, 64th Tractor Lover? How's it going? All right, I am going to paint a little water effects here around this guy. Just need to build it up a little bit more in some spots. But the key here is not to do too much at a time. It's better to do a little bit and layer it than to just put like a huge glob on there. So I'm gonna put a little over the top here, like it's running over her, kind of pushing up over a little bit. I don't want it too much. And then just kind of ripple it out like this. Like it's backing up and then running over is my goal here. We'll see how that turns out, but I think so far it'll be okay. I bet I'm gonna have to do another layer down here on this bottom. It's just a little bit. The rock just didn't quite sit as flush as I probably should have had it, but it fit perfect at the top. So I was trying to kind of work on that top more than I was thinking about the bottom, I think, at the time. Now I need to put some ripples down here. And like I said, I am not a pro at this. This display is my first attempt at using water effects. So bear with me if it looks silly. But so far I'm liking it a lot. Especially if you can down angle with some decent lighting on it. I think it looks cool. And I know my arm is blocking most of your view right now, and I apologize, but I'll get that out of the way here in a second. Now this, of course, will dry clear. It takes about a day. And you get this nice clear effect here. I've seen guys use airbrushes to make their ripples with this stuff, and it's pretty cool. But I've had, fair luck doing it this way, so. Anyway, we'll see how that turns out in a day or so. I almost feel like up here needs some ripples between these rocks, like it's too smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some ripples up here. Like this would be pretty turbulent water up here with all these rocks. Got a little too much up there. I might have to wipe some of that off. There we go. And I'm going to just take a shop towel here and get a little bit off of this rock where I got a little too high on the rock. Ta-da! Whoops. There we go. Yeah, like I said, we'll just wait. Need to buy an airbrush. Yeah, I've got one. I've got an Iwata airbrush. They're definitely handy, especially for some oddball colors and things like that maybe you just can't get it out of a rattle can. So at first I thought they would be a pain to mix, but it's pretty good. Okay, what's up? I'm painting a third gin with some testers and bubbled. How would I prevent that? So, a couple things. One, did you strip the truck off before you painted it? If not, you might need to sand and clean the truck a little bit. That's definitely possible. Also, could have just been some oil or contamination. Or it could be, if you didn't strip the truck, the paint that is under it may not be compatible with the paint you're spraying. So in that case, you could do a couple things. Oh, you did? Okay, well, good question. Was it humid by any chance when you were painting? Because that's also, that can also definitely cause issues. I've had that trouble before on several occasions where it was kind of above average humidity, and I got some bubbling and wrinkling on my paint. Other than that, I'm gonna say clean, 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 clean. You really can't have a painted part clean enough that you're getting ready to paint. So, what did you use a primer, and what primer did you use under it? Also, could be if you did that could also be a problem. I use anything I'm doing that's metal or even a resin like a 3D printed. I use a self etching primer. I seem to have better luck with that than a lot of other you know, just regular like off the shelf primers. You can get self etching primer pretty much anywhere. But I'm glad to see you're attempting it anyway. Said your first time painting a custom. I'm glad to see you're trying to tackle that. That's always fun. And you'll get there. Don't worry. Don't let a little bubbling discourage you. You'll get there and be doing awesome paint jobs in no time. So I was thinking about what used black American accents from Rust-Oleum. Okay. I've had pretty good luck with Rust-Oleum paints for the most part, except for their whites. I've had zero luck with white paint or primer, to be to be honest with you. It always looks oh, like I really struggle with it. I don't know why, but it seems like I cannot spray light enough coats with white for some reason. But that's the way it goes, I guess. What's up, baseball life? Oh, my baseball life ended yesterday, at least for until spring. The Cardinals got beat. It was sad. I was really hoping they make a deep run for Pujols and Molina and Wainwright, but oh well, didn't happen. Paint markers are good. I use black paint marker a lot. I also use orange and reds for like detailing lights and things like that, and then I use chrome paint markers, um, for chroming out things. Aha, you're painting it whites. There you go. Yeah. So I don't have a good answer for you because I'm awful at painting white. Like it is my kryptonite. White paint, I'm terrible at it. Like I don't know, like I honestly don't know what I do wrong. But it seems like I cannot get a good white paint job to save my life. Yeah, my guess would be maybe too much. Like I said, I really light coats with whites. A lot of really light coats, I think is yeah, I think that's what I would that's my advice because yeah, white paint. Oh, the nemesis. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned yeah, that you're painting it white because yeah, that's there's a reason I don't have any white vehicles on my farm toy displays because I can't paint white to save my life. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess the Cubbies will have to wait till next year, but I guess the Cardinals will too. So yeah, it's just I don't know, whatever Cardinals. Ugh. I had a bad feeling because the whole last month of the season they could not hit the ball to save their lives, and I'm like, oh boy, this is not boding well coming playoff time. And I was right, couldn't hit the ball to save their life. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows the secret to white paint, but it's not me. I unfortunately just don't. I'm terrible at it. One of the things I was debating, so I've got this like sagebrush stuff. I need to cut that off, but I really like this stuff. It makes great ground cover. Uh, yeah, yeah. Well, that just went in my brand spanking new. That was dumb. Story of my life. Okay, let's not do it there then. Let's do it down here. I don't know, something like that hanging over the edge. Oh, you guys can't see that because that's because of where I've got it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some vegetation for the edge of the river there. I will. I'll keep you in mind there. Hopefully it works out well for you. Oh, I got a little leaf in my water. There we go. Yeah, that was just a terrible idea on my part to try and test fit that when I had wet water below it. You live and you learn, and sometimes you get burned. There we go. Ooh, almost pulled that out. Now I'm trying to think of what song I was just quoting. You live and you learn. Sometimes you get. Oh, it's a Sturgill Simpson song. That's what it is. All right, I think I got all my leaves out of there. Maybe there's one there. Okay, that ought to do. Oh, that's just silliness right there. Oh, yeah, I did. Actually, I might have posted a picture on Instagram of the 2500 Chevy. Um, I put a bumper guard on it and a rack on the back, and the bed's got some stuff in it. Of course, put an exhaust on it, antenna, just fun stuff like that. I started with one of the Ertl trucks, and those are super not detailed. So like I had to paint up the mirrors and all sorts of lights and stuff on there, but it turned out pretty neat. Yeah, I have not been to Outback. I have not been to their store yet. I mean, I've obviously bought online from them, but yeah, unfortunately haven't been to their store. Would love to go sometime. Maybe I'll make it out there. That would be really cool if I could go out there. But it'd probably be really expensive because it's like tracker heaven out there. Oh well, good luck on the video. I hope it goes well for you too. That'd be cool. I got a question, and maybe somebody knows if any of you guys have used this water stuff. So my water up here obviously is fresh and new and clean. The water down at the other end of the stream, though, down this way, is dusty because it's been here for a year, and so I'm trying to think about how do I kind of clean that safely. I don't know if that's a Windex situation or maybe just a dry towel and kind of shine it. It's just dusty. It's not, it's just got stuff on it. And I just want to kind of dress it up a little bit. You can actually see quite the difference here between this and this. So, air can. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Why didn't I think of that? Of course. Think about going to their grand. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did. They moved. Um, Boy, that'd be cool to go to that for sure. Have a new Ertl sled. Try putting a combine cab on it. That's a great idea. Those Ertl pulling tractors are like one of the great mysteries of the world to me. It's like they went like 8/10 of the way. Like they're really neat. They've got some detail, but then they just cheaped out in all the wrong spots. And it's like, oh man, you could have. But I get it. They're building to a price point, and I get it. I don't, I'm not knocking them for that. They know their market more than I do for sure. But it's like, oh, they were so close, and I like them. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm really glad they made them, made those tractors and sleds. I think it's great. Um, Especially with the popularity of pulling stuff right now. I think it was a really good move on their part, and gives people an alternative to the spec cast, which is always a little bit higher end, and then also the custom stuff, which can be just crazy expensive at times. Um, Obviously worth it, but anyway, I'm glad to see them do it. I'd love to see them do some 16 scale pullers. That would be cool, but I don't know that they will. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's that's one of the things I have to step back and think to myself like, yeah, this wasn't necessarily made for me or for the collectors. This was made for the kids. So, um, that's the case with them. And like I said, I'm really glad they made them. They're super cool. You have a 96 8200. I assume we're talking a John Deere 8200, and uh, I don't actually. I had one. I actually did a 8210 narrow frame, cut the hood, did all that stuff, and I ended up selling it, which I kind of kicked myself in the butt for. There's there's really two tractors that I've sold over the years that I really wish I hadn't, and that was one, and the other one was a 9000 series narrow frame John Deere 4-wheel drive tractor. Both of those I put tons of hours into to make them right, and I want, I don't know, just one of those things where sometimes I get in the mood like, oh, if I take this to a big show, it'll sell there. I ought to just sell it, and I sold it, and I'm kicking myself for it. Oh, you pull garden pulling tractors, very nice. That's awesome. I think garden pulling tractors are super cool. I think garden tractors are super cool, but yeah, it's cool to have a one of those. I want to get not necessarily a pulling tractor, but I want to get one of the red Cub Cadets. It's like kind of my I don't know my dream garden tractor, if you will. Um, Maybe someday we'll see. Have I seen the Hot Wheels tractors? I don't know that I have. Oh yeah, wow, those would have been great tractors, Chris. Yeah. Oh, I saw, and I couldn't stop because I was on. I don't know if you're familiar with the area or not. I was in Jerseyville, Illinois, and coming north on 67, and just I don't know, maybe 5 miles north of Jerseyville, there's a guy, and he's definitely a classic tractor collector. You never know what he's gonna have sitting outside. He had two 6030s that had cabs, and they were freshly restored, sitting out in front of his shop. But I wasn't going to trespass on his property, and but two, I was on the highway, and there were a lot of cars behind me, so I couldn't slow down to get a picture of it either. Um, but gosh, those, yeah, I love them. I love a 6030. Do I know anyone that could build you one or sell you one? I don't know. I can ask around. I mean, I would say, yeah, I'll build you one someday, but one, those 8000 series donor tractors are getting hard to find, and two, like I said, that was a really time consuming build, and I know I'd be at least a year getting it built, if not longer, um, just because of everything I've had going on here. But yeah, I mean, I can ask around. There's somebody out there, maybe Aaron Jensen. That might be the guy, Jensen Diecast. That might be who I would check with. That seems like that's something up his alley. Almost seems like he's built one before, but I'm not going to swear to that. Yeah, I've kind of always had a thing for those smaller horsepower tractors, like the big small horsepower tractors, if that makes any sense at all, which I know it doesn't, but he did do one. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say it sure seems like he did one. I think I put in a dump body on a Chevy or GMC 665 or C70. Where could I find one cheap? So you could get a Greenlight C60 or 65 pretty inexpensive. I mean, those are still hovering around 20 bucks or so. And I mean, especially if you're gonna stick a dump bed or a dump body on that or something like that, that's where I would look. If you go to shows, they're everywhere. But if not, I mean, I'm sure Outback or eBay would probably. I might check. You know what? Might give B&B Farm Toys a shout out. Just get a hold of them. They're on Facebook. They've got a website. I think it's bnbfarmtoys.net. Um, they I wouldn't. They probably got some they could send you. I imagine. Do you ever do customs with 164th backhoes? Kind of interesting you mentioned that because uh, yesterday when I was driving around, I actually thought to myself that I ought to do something like that. I would love a couple things I would love to do is a subcompact tractor with a loader and a backhoe, and then like one of those just like backhoe attachments that you can hook up to any tractor on the back. I that's those both of those are on my list to do for sure. I'm gonna see how this is. Oh yeah, this is starting to set. So I'll show you guys. So I didn't get that super wet. So what you can do once this stuff starts to get hard is you can kind of work it like this, back and forth, and it will smooth out any of the bumps and dips and things of that. That's why they call it sculpt mold, because you can kind of sculpt it when it comes time to do that. And what you need to do is if it's sticking to you or whatever, you can just dip your finger in some water, which I got a little glass of water right here. And it will just kind of help smooth that out. And what this does is really cuts down on the sanding that you have to do on this. And in fact, if you do it right, and if you get it at the right time, which I might have here, you won't have to do any sanding on it. You just come through and paint it. So that's what I'm hoping for here. Now once I kind of get down a little bit, that's still a little tacky. It still needs set up a little bit. But for the most part, that's looking good. That looks way better. I'm getting a little grass in it because I just brushed the side of the road there, but that's okay. There we go. Gotta get a little more water on my finger. I'm picking up a couple spots there. There we go. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, I'd be fine with a 2305. That'd be a super cool little tractor to have here on the model farm. Just kind of cruising around in. Have for little projects here and there. There we go. I like that. I think that's good. Just smoothing out everything. That looks good. Ready to let that dry and hit it with some paint tomorrow, I hope. As quick as this is setting up, this could paint tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I got a spot right there I need to just thin out a little bit. I wish Ertl would. I would totally do it. Yeah, John Deere 310 backhoe authentic. That'd be super cool. I think Ertl and Speccast and kind of everybody are missing the boat a little bit by not doing more construction equipment in the 1/64 scale. I know there's a lot of guys that would buy that, especially for their model farms and things like that. I don't know. I just think it's something that they're kind of missing the boat on a little bit. At National and Dubuque, myself and Taylor Foster will have a little bit of new construction equipment and 1/64 scale equipment. It's pretty exciting. I can't exactly show it off just yet, but it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited about it. Oh yeah, that's a good call. Yeah. Single rear wheel Chevy 3500 and a rear wheel Dodge Ram. Nice. Cool. Don't tell Kyle, right? Yeah. I'm trying to get Kyle to do more 64th construction stuff because I'm just telling you, there's the market there. I think you know that too. There's for sure a market for that. Actually, I've got a Komatsu pipeline machine that I've made. I actually did a test print on it, and most of the test print was good, except for the booms, and so I got to redo that. Would love to have that done for National, but we'll see. Well, guys, I got about 2 minutes and I got to wrap this thing up. So, any questions or anything, feel free to fire away. I'll answer them as well and quickly as possible. Oh yeah, the Outback Toys Christmas catalog. Nothing better than that, right? That's one of the best days of the year when that comes. It's a good catalog this year. Lots of good stuff in there. I'm excited. Working on a pull-in truck. Very cool. Also, why are Greenlight dump trailers so expensive? That's a really good question because you'd think they wouldn't be. I don't know. Greenlight's interesting because Greenlight, in a lot of ways, has changed the game. I think a lot with their trucks, and I mean certainly with their trucks. But even their Down on the Farm series, I know they weren't like necessarily super popular tractors, but I still think it kind of made people take notice. Um, so that's really interesting. But then sometimes I'm like, Greenlight, what are you doing here? Like with some of their stuff. Truck and construction side of the hobby, yeah. I mean, I totally get it. That's such a cool. It's really a cool part of this hobby. Um, especially I mean, construction equipment is just cool. I don't know. It's they're like tractors for the most part, but they're just really cool. There's a lot of potential for detail there. Yeah, I really wish we could see more 64 scale construction equipment. And I guess I just need to be that change. I just need to, I guess, come up with it myself, but it's a time issue. What do I think about the new green light Dodges coming out? Really excited. Uh, I'm ready for them. I mean, they've been promised for a long time, and I get everything. With the last few years, everything's just weird in the world as far as delays and all that sort of thing. So I get it. But yeah, I'm super excited for those. I will have several running around the model farm for sure. Working on making a custom CS690 John Deere cotton picker. Awesome. Absolutely. Check out Chris Buchanan Farms over on Instagram. He's trying to kind of build up his audience. I promise you will not be disappointed. Some of the best pictures of any modeler out there by far. The display is top notch. You will absolutely love checking him out every day. I know I do. I always look forward to it. The picture you did today, I think it was today. You had the combine, the X9, and you had a real low angle on it. Man, that was a cool picture. That was awesome. They need to make a 16 to 18 2500. I agree. I'd love to have one of those for sure. I would love to do more custom trucks. That's something I just can't quite find the time for. But man, I would love to. I just see some of the stuff that some of you guys do, some of the guys over on our Discord do, some of the guys on Instagram, and I'm just blown away by how cool those things look. They're just amazing. My farm is based off of Illinois, kind of the western part, because we live between the Mississippi and Illinois rivers. So we kind of have this sort of interesting topography here where we have nice flat prairie, we have good flat bottomland, but then we also kind of have some hills and hollers and things like that. So that's why the part over here on this side of the display, that way, that's why it's kind of got a hill, sort of showing the transition to river bluff and things like that. While the rest of the farm is definitely more bottom ground, and then this county highway is pretty typical of what you see running along the river bluffs here. So you kind of get your hills coming down. You'll get a stream like this coming out of the hills. You'll have a highway, and then it kind of slopes down to your bottom ground. And so that's kind of what I was going for here. Um, I like it. I really do like what I've done so far, anyway. And I'm kind of looking forward to. I hope by winter getting it basically finished with a few exceptions of details and things like that, and then being able to really get into the storyline of Dogtown. That's my goal. So they need to make more flatbed trailers for semis. I agree. That would be cool. Looking for 2 sets of the Batwing. GMC Denali HD. I would love to see like a GMC Denali HD. I think GMC trucks look awesome, by the way. I don't know. I'm just kind of a fan. Buchanan Farms does have a nice 2020 Duramax. I agree. All right, guys. Well, it's a little after 5. Unfortunately, I got to get going here. Thank you guys for joining me, though. I really appreciate it. Always love chatting with you guys. It makes it for an awesome Sunday afternoon. Getting to talk tractors with y'all. Always really appreciate you guys coming on here and checking out everything. Stay tuned. Got some new stuff coming uh, for Dubuque and National and all that, and then hopefully got some cool new videos coming. I'm working on editing down and all that stuff. Some display stuff, some how-to stuff. Hope to get those out real soon to you guys, and I hope to get another podcast out real soon. I know I've been slacking on that major league, but it's been, like I said, it's been a weird summer or year for me. So I'm getting back into the swing of things though, having a good time doing it. So all right, guys, thank you so much. Have yourselves an awesome day, and happy tractor hunting.